Hello there.
Problem is, guys, is that fucking dread that just hangs over all these DC movies because of the way that Warner Brothers has run this series into the ground.
The Atomic Fan.
So Aquaman 2 is the next big DC movie coming down the pipeline here, and I think this trailer is so funny because we know that this movie has had tons of reshoots and delays, and it's taken forever for this movie to even finally get a trailer, but we do finally have one, and I think that it looks pretty good. It looks decent, but it's almost too little too late with this old DC universe because you just have this feeling that none of the things that are happening now matter, and that DC is still this big unorganized mess, even with James Gunn at the helm, and kind of trying to put on this facade that he is restarting things and rebooting things, and there's this big organized plan. But the more and more you hear about the new DC universe coming from James Gunn, the more contradictions there are, the more things that just kind of don't make sense. And especially with some of the story elements coming out for like the new Superman, for example, including the Authority and stuff like that. So there's just this whole air around DC as a whole right now that's just not very exciting or really that well connected. I mean, it just doesn't make a lot of sense, a lot of the stuff that they're doing in these new DC movies. You had The Flash ending with them bringing in George Clooney's Batman, which doesn't make sense for this universe, but apparently the whole thing is going to be reset. We're supposed to just trust in James Gunn and follow him along for this ride, which is what most fans are doing because some people are trying to retain that semblance of hope for the DC universe. But of course there are some things that can be said for Aquaman 2 that actually look really good. I think Black Manta looks really awesome. I think the CGI looks pretty decent. It doesn't look too bad. And of course I love Aquaman's movie costume, and I think the casting of Jason Momoa is very good. I mean, I think that he is passionate about the character, and he plays the character fairly well, although he brings this sort of surfer bro attitude that Aquaman never really had in the comics.
My man.
Overall, we know DC's big problem, and it's not the casting, it's actually the writing and the producers there over at Warner Brothers. So yeah, when we take a look at this trailer as a whole, there are some things that are definitely interesting and cool. It's cool to see Aquaman being a father, and having these more emotionally interactive scenes with his dad. Something I've always liked about Jason Momoa's Aquaman is the fact that they give him these kind of different colored eyes. They're almost eerie and somewhat intimidating, but also just very cool. I mean, very cool. And of course, Atlantis is much more colorful than what we saw from the MCU version of Atlantis. I can't even remember the name of it now from Black Panther 2.
I can't see fucking shit out of this thing. Who made this goddamn shit?
A lot of the underwater shots in that movie were very dull, whereas with Aquaman 2, things look to be much better and much more colorful. Similar to Aquaman 1, and we get to see shots of him in the suit here, which are really cool to see. And yeah, this whole underwater world here almost kind of resembles Avatar and Pandora in a way. Maybe they had some inspiration from that, but I think it's really well done. It's really colorful. And it's good to see that Black Manta is going to be returning in this movie in a more fleshed out, proper role as the big bad villain in the movie. He looks to be pretty damn intimidating and actually pretty dangerous and threatening. Now what's cool is that this movie is going to introduce us to the Black Trident, which is apparently it's supposed to be a kind of a clone of Aquaman's trident, but it kind of has this dark magic power that spreads like a disease and kind of infects things. And there's some shots later in the trailer where we can actually see this in action. Aquaman seems to be getting this new outfit, and it apparently has these camouflage abilities, which is, I guess, new for Aquaman, but apparently maybe it's the suit or something. It's some sort of Atlantean technology. That's what I have to assume here, but nothing beats that gold and green suit. That is classic Aquaman there. And this is the most interesting part of the movie to me, which seems to be the relationship between Arthur Curry and his brother, Ocean Master. I mean, the dude looks good. He's pretty damn ripped and stayed pretty ripped for the role. I'm sure that he probably worked out again to get in shape for this movie, but it's going to be good to see their dynamic in this film. I mean, there's another scene here where we can actually see them bounce off of each other right here, and I think that this scene's actually cool, so I'll go ahead and just play it real quick.
Yeah, well, I hate this job.
True king builds bridges, right?
True king builds bridges.
See, I think that's kind of cool, but you can definitely see that Jason Momoa's Aquaman has that surfer bro vibe about him. And like I said, the CGI actually looks good. It looks 100 times better than The Flash, that's for damn sure.
What the hell is even that?
And we can see a shot of the Black Trident here. And this is, you know, of course, you get to see some history here of Atlantis and all of that. But there's this little shot right here where you actually get to see the Black Trident infecting something with its kind of disease that sort of spreads over and destroys everything that it consumes. You got to assume that these are maybe Atlanteans or just beings, people of, you know, different tribes or whatever that have been infected by the Black Trident. And overall, I mean, like I said, this looks pretty damn awesome. The CGI for the trailer is actually really good and really well done, but it just makes me wonder if they're trying to make this trailer look really good because they know that the movie's not going to be that great. We have that shoddy CGI scene right here. This one's a little iffy, but you know, it's still not worse than The Flash. The Flash was like almost hard for me to watch. I mean, it was really bad, but we get to see that this movie is going to have a lot of different environments, from snowy environments, obviously the ocean, and them exploring different forests and the desert. And yeah, overall the movie looks good, but the problem is, guys, is that fucking dread that just hangs over all these DC movies because of the way that Warner Brothers has run this series into the ground and is now getting rid of all the core actors. You know, is Jason Momoa even going to continue to be Aquaman? I mean, it's kind of ridiculous, and it's ridiculous because you know that they're just run by money, and you know for a fact that if this movie makes $2 billion for whatever reason, I mean, we all know it's not gonna, but if it did, they would definitely greenlight an Aquaman 3 and find a reason to keep Jason Momoa as Aquaman. But if this movie flops, will he ever return again as Aquaman? Does Warner Brothers even know what they're doing? Is James Gunn gonna be the right leader for the new DC universe? There's so many questions, and that just kind of lingers over this movie and gives it this sort of stench that otherwise wouldn't really be there, because everything about the movie looks pretty damn amazing. I mean, just strictly from the trailer. But I was a fan of the first Aquaman, and I thought that movie was actually pretty good. I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm hot and cold with this movie. I really think it looks awesome. And then when I think about it logically, and I think about the test screenings and the state of DC at the moment, the fact that none of this stuff is going to matter in just a few years, I don't know. Comment down below, let me know what y'all think of this trailer of this new Aquaman movie, if you're excited for it, if you're going to be skipping it. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be skipping out on this movie, but who knows? Maybe it'll come in as a surprise and hit $1 billion and actually be really good. Who knows? But if any of the leaks are to be believed, and any of the early test screenings and stuff that people have come out and reacted to in different leaks are to be believed, then this movie is sort of in hot water, which sucks because, like I said, everything about it looks good. So drop you guys' thoughts in the comments below, and for this video, that's really all I got. So until the next one, be safe and stay well. Bye-bye.